I don't remember exactly when it happened. Maybe it was a night drive, windows down, with a song I hadn't heard in years. Or maybe it was the way sunlight used to pour into my childhood room, painting the floor gold. But at some point, I stopped feeling it. That quiet thrill, that invisible spark, that sense that the world was more than just what it seemed. As a kid, I could find magic in the smallest things. A puddle became an ocean, a hallway became a runway, a whisper became a secret meant only for me. Now it's just Monday again, and my phone says it's 7:43 a.m. and I've got 3 unread emails and a meeting in 20 minutes. I didn't choose to stop feeling wonder, I just got busy. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, the silence disappeared, the magic disappeared. But sometimes in the quietest moments, I still wonder, when was the last time I truly felt alive? And what if, just what if, it's not too late to feel it again? We were all born curious. Before we learned to walk, we reached. Before we learned to speak, we stared, wide-eyed, open-mouthed, at everything we didn't understand. A fan spinning on the ceiling. Rain tapping on glass. The sound of our own heartbeat when the world got too quiet. We asked questions, not because we needed answers, but because wondering felt good. Why is the sky blue? Where does the sun go at night? Do fish get thirsty? We didn't care if it made sense. We just wanted to feel closer to the world. We didn't scroll, we stared. We didn't consume, we explored. We could spend hours watching ants march in line, or the way water bends light inside a glass. The world wasn't something we lived in, it was something we were trying to figure out. Every crack on the sidewalk could lead to another world. Every cloud was a story. Every moment held the possibility of surprise. And the best part? We never asked if it was productive. We didn't need a reason to wonder. It was enough just to feel amazed. That was the superpower of childhood. Everything was new, and we let it be new. We didn't rush to define it. We didn't label it, capture it, or turn it into content. We just lived it. And somehow, in all that unknowing, we felt something most of us spend the rest of our lives chasing. Wonder. The raw, wordless kind. The kind that doesn't ask for understanding, just presence. But somewhere along the way, we stopped looking at the stars and started looking at screens. There wasn't a moment, no sudden silence, just a slow fading, like music turning down so gradually you don't notice it's gone, until all you hear is the hum of the fridge. The questions didn't stop all at once, they just changed. Why is the sky blue became, did I reply to that email? Do clouds have feelings? Became, how do I make rent this month? Somewhere between math tests and job interviews, between fitting in and keeping up, I stopped looking out the window. I started looking at the clock. Wonder was replaced by worry. Curiosity turned into calculation. And every day began to look just like the last. I memorized bus schedules, not constellations. I stopped dancing in the rain because I didn't want to be late, and I didn't even realize it was happening. No one tells you that growing up often means growing numb, that the questions don't go away. They just get quieter, until one day you wake up and realize you haven't asked anything beautiful in years. Not because you stopped caring, but because life got loud. And wonder doesn't shout. It whispers, and we forgot how to listen. Adulthood is loud, Not in sound, but in weight. There's always something buzzing, something blinking, something that needs to be done, answered, fixed, finished. Mornings start with alarms, not sunlight. Evenings end with screens, not stars. We wear busyness like armor, as if staying occupied will keep the emptiness out. But it doesn't. It just drowns it, buries it beneath calendar invites and unread messages. We trade our time for money and our attention for distraction. We scroll past things we used to stare at, skip songs halfway through, watch sunsets through windshields, or not at all. And we call this normal. Adulthood teaches us to be efficient, but never to be present, to chase things that can be measured but not felt. We learn how to file taxes, but forget how to sit in silence. We learn how to manage time, but not how to savor it. And wonder, the soft, slow kind, has no place in a world that only values speed. So we keep moving. Not because we know where we're going, but because slowing down feels like falling behind. But sometimes, just sometimes, in the pause between two tasks, in the breath before sleep, we feel it again. That tiny ache, that question without words, that part of us that still remembers what it's like to be amazed. It didn't happen in some grand moment, not in a breakdown, not in a sunrise epiphany. It was quiet, small, almost forgettable. I was sitting at a cafe, same table, same order, same people walking by with places to be, and I realized I didn't feel anything, not joy, not sadness, just a dull hum, like a song I'd heard too many times. The coffee tasted fine, the sky looked fine, I was fine. But somewhere beneath that word, fine, was something I couldn't name. A silence that used to be filled with awe. When did life become something to tolerate? I used to laugh without thinking. Now I rehearse it. I used to look up at the stars and wonder who else was looking. Now I barely look up at all. There wasn't a single moment when I let go of wonder. It was 1,000 tiny surrenders, a slow erosion, a quiet forgetting. And maybe that's the scariest part. Not that we lose wonder, but that we don't even notice when it's gone. Until one day you sit alone, look around at a life you built, and whisper to yourself, wasn't there supposed to be more? I don't think wonder ever dies. I think it hides, buried beneath routines, tucked away behind grown-up faces and to-do lists, waiting patiently for us to remember. And maybe we can't go back, not to childhood, not to that first spark, but maybe we can return, not to who we were, but to how we used to see. Maybe wonder lives in the quiet we've been avoiding, in the way leaves flutter when no one's watching, in the silence between two notes of a song you forgot you loved. It's in the way someone says your name gently, in old photographs you forgot you kept, in the questions that don't need answers. We don't need to climb a mountain to feel it. Sometimes it's in the way morning light hits the kitchen counter, or how rain sounds different when you stop to listen. Maybe we don't need a new life, just new eyes. Eyes that don't rush. Eyes that don't label everything as useful or useless. Eyes that let things be beautiful just because they are. And maybe that's the secret. Wonder doesn't come from getting more. It comes from noticing what was always there.